Everybody love everybody! Come on!
Welcome back to the Tarot Tea Table, y'all, where we go ahead and figure out what is going on with you and what is the tea on everybody who may be in your energy. All right, so we are going to be dissecting angel number 2222. We're not going to go too heavy into it, but as we know, for 2222, that is related to 2, which is related to the moon. So we have Cancer domicile, Capricorn detriment, Taurus exalt, and Scorpio fall. With that, I am getting that someone wants to give this connection a fighting chance and to actually fight for it. And, you know, to show that they want this too. They also want you to show that you want this too. I feel they often feel you run away when things get hard. And with that, I channeled Old Money by Lana Del Rey. And I got the lyrics, but if you send for me, you know I'll come. And if you call for me, you know I'll run. Y'all could be really focused on this new chapter, and some of y'all have moved, got a new job, began a whole new career path. You know, you could be focusing on your studies more, busy with the kids. This person wants you to also fight for this connection, and they miss you quite a bit. Well, they're very proud of you, and they're eager to see where other areas of life will go. They do miss just being present in the moment with you. This could be the same or different energy, or it might even be yours, but I'm seeing someone is ready to let go of a vice or a crutch, okay? They want to acknowledge, too, that they will do it on their own time. They are realizing how certain things, such as, you know, drogas or drinking, overeating, undereating, too much caffeine, etc., could be affecting not only them, but those around them. And if this is you, I'm incredibly proud of you. If this is someone else, a friend, family member, etc., I hope you're proud of them. This person, be it you or someone else, is just really stressed out and they're venting it, but sometimes they don't know how to fix the situation or when to stop trying to fix everyone and everything besides themselves. I feel like someone is battling the spirit of procrastination as well as a little bit of imposter syndrome. I feel like it's important to remember that oftentimes your anxiety is lying to you. And right now, you're doing a phenomenal job. Again, use discernment as to whether or not this applies to you or someone else, but you really are doing a great job. And then a quick little reminder, I feel like someone here is extremely witchy, especially with the fact that we had gotten the moon, right? And 2222. Someone here is very witchy. You may, you know, worship the moon or the triple moon goddess or even Hecate yourself. You could really be into worshiping Nyx. You could worship Selene. I feel like there are so many different ways you can worship the moon. Nonetheless, someone here is very witchy and needed this little reminder don't forget to toss cinnamon, sugar, and salt outside your door. And try to remember to do this every first Friday of the month to attract abundance, to invite more sweetness, and to cleanse any negative energy from your home. While you're at it, get yourself some sage, some Palo Santo, get yourself some dragon's blood incense, some patchouli incense, some rain incense, whatever you feel called to utilize to aid with your cleansing. I'm also getting that some of you really like Florida water, and aside from your bath, you're not sure of exactly how to utilize it and its potential. Well, I'm getting that you should try mopping with Florida water and baking soda for even more cleansing. But please remember to ensure that you go over one more time over the area that you mopped. That way you don't have like this like white residue left over from the baking soda. But trust me, it's gonna get clean. That baking soda, like, you got any grit and grime, you gonna fucking get up in there with the baking soda. All right, so let's go ahead and pull from the Light Seers Tarot deck. Cool. Ooh, I want to do my mantra. Do I have that in here? I do. Cool. I cloak myself in a chiffon of pink. I ask my spirit guides, ancestors, deities, angels, and Mother Nature ground me in protective glimmer so that I may think and so that I may shimmer. I am your oracle of the light, your seer in the dark. Please grant me that creative spark and allow me to bask in your divine essence through this confusion and stark. I am you and you are me. Voice through me these messages you wish to speak, and blessed be. And so it'd be like that sometimes. Hey. All right, negative energy may not stay. I release it and send it on its way. Negative energy, I banish thee, and is my word, so mote it be. I feel like there is quite a bit of, I don't want to necessarily say negative energy, but heavy energy that is lingering in your spirit, in your cloud right now. And I feel like you definitely are cleansing, but maybe do a little bit extra cleansing to really get out of this funk. Because even if, again, it's not negative energy, it's kind of like, I feel like weighing down your own energy, okay? Oh, you're such a sweet person. Okay. So far, we have Judgment in reverse, number 20. We have Three of Swords in reverse. And we have the Knight of Cups. And what's at the face of the deck? We have the Nine of Cups in reverse. So I'm getting that you are definitely a person who, if not already, you've been embarking on a pretty hefty healing journey yourself. And you probably just got out of some situations that really did a number on your heart, whether this was some sort of betrayal in terms of romance or some sort of, you know, third party trying to insert themselves within your romance, what have you. This could even be like, you know, triangulation between family members. This could be going on at work. However, I do feel like with all of the red here, and of course the heart and then Judgment, I feel like you are definitely working through some trauma and you're doing your best to not let it leak out onto everybody else. You know what I mean? I feel like, yes, these situations were hefty, and yes, you are realizing that, you know, not everything was what it was cracked up to be. But you're not going to let any sort of bitterness affect how you interact with the outside world. I feel like it is still important to use your discernment and not let go of any judgment, because there is such thing as good judgments, especially when it comes to someone's character. I feel like, you know, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but I feel like sometimes we can be so caught up and trying to not be a judgmental individual, that sometimes we ignore the red flags, that sometimes we, trying to, be nice and show empathy, especially as the Knight of Cups, realize that the Knight of Cups isn't exactly the Queen of Cups or the King of Cups just yet. And the Knight of Cups is fresh, brand new. I feel like you could be very fresh and brand new in this particular environment. You're probably dealing with a lot of new people, especially with the Knight of Cups. You could have a job that has to do that has to do with someone else's healing, be it a profession such as being a doctor, a nurse. You could be a psychologist, a therapist. Aside from being a medical professional, you could be someone who, maybe you're a pharmacist. Maybe you're a bartender. I feel like bartenders definitely, can be like kind of like that therapist for you, that person who you go to who won't judge you. You could be someone in sales. You could be, I just heard that you are great at selling yourself, and oftentimes people do come back, not necessarily just because of the product, but because they want to encounter you again. And because not only that, like, I feel like sometimes people can see that you too have been wounded and you do wear your heart on your sleeve. And while it is beautiful to carry so much empathy for those around you, it is important to remember to just kind of keep yourself guarded, in the sense that, again, there are such things as good judgment of character. And while you do want to see the best in everybody and you wish to see the best in everybody, sometimes we have to accept that people don't like us, or that some people don't really have the best intentions, or something along those lines. And while it can hurt and while it can be confusing, remember, you are fresh out of a pretty traumatic situation, it seems. And while you are healing right now, it's important to really be gentle on yourself and remember that, sometimes you might slip up. I mean, if this is a work environment, please really do your best to keep that reeled in and be professional. But sometimes, your heart might be in it a little too much. You might be taking things personally that you don't necessarily need to take personally. Yeah, I feel like this is also a really important aspect in terms of, I'm going to call it the 5 years of discernment, because I feel like this has been a 5-year long lesson. And not only that, with the Three of Swords in reverse, I feel like we're constantly healing, and we're constantly faced with situations of which individuals just think differently and act differently and just human differently. And while we may rub others the wrong way, or while they may rub us the wrong way, it is still important to not take everything personal. Try to protect your heart a little more and not necessarily wear it onto your sleeve, because we want you to graduate from the Knight of Cups to the Queen of Cups, King of Cups. I feel like this could also be connecting back to 2222 and the whole realization of someone wanting to try harder in a connection. Because someone may even realize that they let a lot of shit come in between the two of you in this connection. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be friendships, it could be family, it could be your kids. Put it where it fits. Especially with the Knight of Cups, this can be a younger energy. Someone who could be, maybe in their 20s. I feel like there have been situations that have really rocked the boat for the two of you. And this could even be work coming into play. This could be, again, just put it where it fits. This could be someone, if they're a therapist, maybe someone even, you know, doing their notes off the clock, or someone who, you know, might even be a workaholic, because we did get that whole energy of trying to let go of a vice. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something as invasive as drugs or alcohol, but still enough to make a pretty strong impact on one's life. And, you know, with the Nine of Cups in reverse that we had out here earlier, I feel like it's important to remember that, like, even though life isn't exactly as we want it to be, we can still mold and shape it into something that leaves us content, not just something that we have to tolerate. And I feel like it can be hard to remember that, especially coming out of a traumatic event that, you know, with the Three of Swords, might have left you pretty jaded. But I am really proud of you, or this person, whoever is trying to achieve this healing and is realizing that, you know, there may have been some poor judgments that were made in the past. I'm very proud. We got the Seven of Cups in reverse out here. No, you're not delusional. No, they're not delusional. I just feel like the two of you see things differently. Okay? You may have experienced reality differently, in the sense that, you know, one may have a very foggy memory, the other, you know, may have almost a photographic memory. And it can almost seem like sometimes events just didn't play out the way you thought they would. I feel like you could try to explain to this individual, or they could try to explain to you, that, you know, they feel this way when this happens. And I feel like there can be a lot of suppression, in the sense that, like, ooh, I don't got time for this right now. I got a lot of other shit to worry about. And I feel like there's just a lot of confusion, a lot of options, in the sense that, like, there is so much going on in both of y'all's noggins that it almost feels like the repair that is needed here, whether it be on your relationship, or, you know, yourselves outside of the relationship, what have you, it can't be ignored any longer. And it's like, we're at the point of, you know, it's not an option anymore. It's either, and we have the Hermit at the face of the deck, it's either, you know, get on board and give this a fighting chance, and, you know, maybe realize that both of you could have made some terrible judgments through this connection. So it's not just one or the other. Or that third party, because we have the Three of Swords in reverse, or that third party could have just, like, did their best to create a lot of illusions and make you feel like you were delusional. This could even be like an ex of one of y'all who, like, just keeps coming in trying to fuck shit up. Behind the Hermit, we have the Magician in reverse, and, oops, the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like with the Ace of Pentacles, that could also represent the union that we're seeing here. And obviously the seeds that could be harvested, especially with the hard work and the growth that y'all have done together as well as separately. I hope I'm making sense here. But with the Devil out here behind the Ace of Pentacles, I feel like there's always going to be something in the background that is going to distract you or tempt you away from coming hand in hand with this person and unearthing what you've planted and seeing just how much it's grown. Maybe even repotting it, because I feel like if not, like, realistically, and your plants in real life need a repot, I feel like y'all, this connection needs more room to grow. Like, look at those roots. I feel like it's time to start from the ground up and get to the root of things. I feel like it's easy to forget the magic within this connection, especially with the devil looming in the background. The devil could totally be, again, a third party, and that third party could be something such as addiction. You know, again, being a workaholic, or someone who works out a lot, or someone who overeats, undereats, things such as that. Again, it doesn't have to be, you know, so intense as drugs, but just put it where it fits. I feel like this person, whoever is struggling with it, and both of you could be struggling with this third party energy, obviously. I mean, the Three of Swords in reverse, like, yes, you are doing your best to heal, but look how much pain she's in. And I feel like y'all have barely scratched the surface when it comes to what this connection has had to survive. Because yes, it's very strong. Like, I just heard blood is thicker than water. So, like, this totally could be a family member. This could be a sibling, like a younger sibling. Someone who you feel like you need to forgive. Please just put it where it fits. But, you know, outside of the connection, like, yes, you have been spending a lot of alone time, or that alone time is necessary in order to come to these realizations, or realizing that, you know, there is no real other option other than to fight for this right now, or to let it be, you know, either fight for it or become the hermit and just go within. And even then, if you do fight for it, you can still become the hermit. But with the hermit, it's reminding you that if you don't fight for this connection, you could be on your own again. There is a lot of temptation here. It's a really interesting energy. And we've barely pulled, you know, any cards. Maybe this person hasn't even disclosed this to you yet. I feel like, you know, this might be like your confirmation that someone is about to come out of the woodwork. Oh, hello, Hermit. The Hermit in reverse just came out. But someone is about to come out of the woodwork and let you know, like, what the hell is going on, what they've been feeling lately, and how they want to, again, fix things, but they don't expect you to fix them. That they want to do it on their own time, in their own way. And it would just be cool, especially with 222 or 2222, again, relating to the moon. It'd be really cool if you were there to, you know, help support them. Because the moon is only bright because it reflects the sunshine. And so this person may even see you as the sunshine on a cloudy day. Or I just heard Blackest Day by Lana Del Rey. So they might even see you as like a ray of sunshine on the darkest day. I just heard Loneliest Day by System of a Down. Damn, this person may be in a deep depression. Again, put it where it fits. This could be you or them. Again, this could be a sibling. But I feel like they are gonna, like, or even a family member that, like, you know, could be your mother, father, whatever. Put it where it fits. I feel like this person has worried about coming to you with it because, and we just got the Four of Cups, the King of Swords in reverse, and the Five of Swords, and then we got the World in reverse. They feel like they've been in this state for so long and struggling with this like situation for so long. And again, they might not have even told you. You might not have even noticed, but they've just been numbing out with whatever this is in order to just, you know, get out of their head for a bit. It's really hard to be in their head with the Five of Swords, and I feel like they feel like a burden. I feel like they should already be over it because, again, they've been struggling with it for so long. But they just don't, especially with the King of Swords in reverse, they just don't know how to tackle this situation and what exactly to do. But they're not necessarily ready, especially with the King of Swords in reverse, to reach out and get that guidance and ask for that help. Wow. So, especially with the World in reverse as overall energy at the face of the deck, I feel like it's definitely possible, and the Hermit in reverse, that this cycle could, you know, go on for a little longer. It could be another 5 years for them. It could be another 4 years. But with the Hermit in reverse, I feel like they're just not ready yet. They're not ready to tackle this cycle, to break this cycle. What's behind this? The Knight of Swords. It's easier to run away and numb out with the Ace of Swords and not have that clarity than it is to, with the Eight of Pentacles, do the work. Nine of Swords. There's a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety and a lot of trauma here. A lot of stuff that just needs to be balanced out with the Two of Pentacles. But until that's worked on, the Chariot is going to be stalled. And with the Ace of Cups out here, this person is just going to have to keep repeating this cycle until they realize that they need to give their heart a break and to focus on themselves for a bit. With the Hermit in reverse, I feel like this person doesn't necessarily know how to do that. I feel like they constantly have to be productive, but in a way that drains their energy rather than replenishing it. But they feel like if they sit around idly, then that's when they lean toward this vice. When they're alone and they have, you know, nobody else there, nothing to do, and they're in their noggin, that is when they reach for this vice. And it feels like, again, this person just doesn't know where to begin when it comes to getting that help. And they do feel like they can go about, you know, handling it themselves. But again, with the King of Swords in reverse and the Knight of Cups out here, like, I feel like while this person may be very, very intelligent, they do try to intellectualize things and rationalize things to the point of not being able to feel their emotions at the core. And I feel like a lot of interactions, a lot of situations can feel surface level or disingenuous when interacting with this person. Or it can feel almost like forced. Like they're used to being a Casanova or a Juliet, so Romeo or Juliet usually, and they're used to, you know, I feel like they're used to people just seeing them for their intellect as well as, you know, surface level them. You know, how they look, how attractive they are, because, you know, this person knows they're attractive. But I also feel like they feel like a lot of people don't see past surface level them. And so with the King of Swords in reverse, this person can, you know, go on tangents in the sense that they might not pick up when other people are not picking up what they're putting down. This person can mansplain or womansplain a lot. I feel like they can, you know, kind of trump conversations. I feel like they could possibly be struggling with some sort of like narrow divergence, especially with the King of Swords in reverse, that they may not like necessarily understand that they're struggling with, if that makes sense. I feel like, especially if they are neurodivergent, like these addictions that they've been settling into kind of affect them differently than they would someone who is neurotypical. And I'm not automatically saying that, like, you know, they're on the spectrum of autism, but this can include ADD, ADHD as well. And it can feel like for this person that they have a really, really high tolerance, and so they have to consume this much in order to numb out, because in their head they're just relaxing after a long day, but at the same time in the back of their mind, and we have this crow that's like pretty much yelling into this guy's ear, in the back of their mind it's like, I realize I am numbing out. But with the Hermit in reverse, like they're not necessarily ready to confront those thoughts yet. Okay, let me write down the songs. What was it? Blackest Day and Loneliest Day. Blackest Day by Lana Del Rey. I got the lyrics. Ever since my baby went away, it's been the blackest day. It's been the blackest day. All I play is Billie Holiday. It's all that I play. It's all that I play. 'Cause I'm going deeper and deeper, darker and darker, looking for love in all the wrong places. Oh my God, in all the wrong places. Oh my God. And then you should have known better than to have let her get you under the spell of the weather. I got you where I want you. You're better than ever. I'm falling for forever. I'm playing those games which you got you where I want you. I got you. I got you. I got you where I want you now. So I feel like that is like the internal war that they have with themselves. Because when they're alone, it can feel like, you know, the blackest day. Because I feel like there's stuff that they probably haven't even told you that they've dealt with. And, you know, they don't have to. I feel like, you know, if they want to share that kind of stuff, you know, they can. And that might be like part of what they disclose to you. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, they're running from themselves so much that you have to understand that, you know, they don't even know the half of it, of what's going on with them. And they don't even know how to scratch beneath the surface. And, you know, they could just be like, oh, I'm sad today. I'm in a depression. But they don't know exactly why. And they don't want to sit around and figure out why this depression, you know, is lingering. It could even be seasonal. It could definitely be a seasonal type thing because, like, you know, we've got like spring here. These kind of remind me of fall. And then with the beach, summer. And this guy, it looks like he's on the beach too, so summer. We don't have any winter though. And I feel like it's because this person isn't ready to experience their winter and understand why the winter is there, and to hibernate in the winter, and to, with the Hermit in reverse, get to know themselves on a deeper level. It's easier to stay at the surface than to do the inner work, at least for right now. What was it? Lonely day, loneliest day of my life. I love that song. Lonely Day by System of Down. The most loneliest day of my life. Sorry, I'm not trying to wake you up, Bobo. He's over there passed out on the rug. Okay, I think I'm gonna pull from another deck. I really like the Light Seers deck, but I feel like it is time to move on. I'm going to pull from the Mermaid Messages because I feel like something in there is going to reach from the depths of this person's heart and tell us a little more about this Three of Swords here. Because, you know, if it's you or if it's them, again, put energy where it fits. It's not just affecting them. It's not just affecting you. It's affecting everyone around in some way, shape, or form. Even if no one has addressed it, they're still being affected. We have Innocence. We have Gratitude. We have Be Spontaneous. Oops. And Dive Deep in Reverse at the face of the deck. I definitely feel that this person sees these qualities in you, but they don't necessarily realize that they carry these qualities too. I feel like they have this innocence and this gratitude that they even met someone like you, and, you know, they feel that they can be their inner child when around you, and that your inner child definitely makes their inner child grateful and spontaneous and excited and more playful and more generous, and it's just a lot of it is really lovely, and they want to stay in this energy of lovely. They want to stay in the energy of rose-colored glasses and not necessarily deep dive into what is actually wrong. And again, this could be an internal struggle. This could be something going on, you know, with the relationship. This could be, you know, a struggle with you and a family member, them and a family member. I feel a lot of the situations that y'all have encountered, that in some way, shape, or form, that you may judge each other a little too harshly. And it's also time to remember, and this isn't like if, like, you know, they cheated on you, or, you know, if they were unkind or abusive in some sort of way, because if that's the case, this is not the reading for you. But I feel like both of you had a role of innocence in the situation, that, like, yeah, you both may have, like, fucked up in different ways, but this third blade that came through the heart in the Three of Swords, a lot of it they're to blame for, and a lot of it was because of the illusions and the delusions and the controversy and the gossip that they decided to spread, the slander that they decided to spread, the words that pretty much had you side-eyeing one another because of the triangulation. And I feel like, again, it's important to remember that We can have both good judgments and bad judgments of people. I feel like you two may be judging each other a little too harshly and not judging this third party enough. And again, this isn't like if there was like a situation of like cheating or anything like that. I feel like you both have been victimized by this third party somehow. I feel like you are both very grateful for one another, and you do bring in a lot of like fun and fresh and rejuvenating ideas and situations into this connection. So much so that you may even like hear comments from others that, you know, you two are perfect for one another, or other people may just get sick from looking at how mushy-gushy you are with one another if this is a couple. Or, you know, if you are siblings, like I feel like y'all could get like confused for twins often. Or if this is a parent, I feel like it's very apparent that you're close with them and that you've been close with them. But there's this third party that seems to be driving that wedge. I feel like both of you, both you and your partner, could use some time to go within and really think on things. And if either of you have a lock on your heart, or if you have a leash on one another, like, please loosen the reins. Because you don't need to fight one another. You both are innocent because you both have innocent intentions. You both want the same thing. I feel like it's also important to remember that, and I'm kind of thinking of with like this World card in reverse, I'm thinking of the Ace of Pentacles and how that was out here, and it showed us that pentacle, and this is kind of reminding me of that. I feel like it's important to remember that your connection is incredibly strong, and this third party, this betrayal, what have you, it cannot break that bond, and it's not the end of the world. Okay. This could even be like you and your kiddo. Like, I feel like some people, you know, are worried about their relationships with their kiddos nowadays because of like, you know, estrangement and whatnot. And yeah, there are some parents who definitely deserve to have that estrangement placed onto them, but I will say this, that I'm sure that there are some who didn't deserve it, and I get it. I get it. Not all kids are innocent, and I've seen it before. Anyway, negative energy may not stay. I release it and send it on its way. Negative energy, I banish thee, and is my word, so mote it be. Oh yeah, so Messages from the Mermaids is by Karen Kay with artwork by Linda Olson. And then we have Island Time Wellness Love Oracle cards. This is by Island Time Wellness LLC. So, yeah. What do we need? What's some advice, especially for like couples and whatnot? Ooh, Mirror in Reverse. I just heard, and I don't like Justin Timberlake. I'm upset about how dirty he did Britney Spears knowingly. And if you read her autobiography, like, I'm sure you'll understand, but I just feel so bad for how dirty he did her. But I've got Mirrors by Justin Timberlake. JT. It's like you're a mirror staring back at me. I don't know the rest of the chorus, but that played in my head. With mirror in reverse, mirroring each other's self-image, relationships, reflect our wounds, introspection. I feel like you two do mirror one another, but I feel like you are learning how to see the good qualities. And that's really important. I feel like it's easier for you to see the negative aspects of mirroring in one another than it is to see the good qualities. And that's where judgment in reverse is coming in again, too. And I'm not saying that y'all are always good or that y'all are always innocent, but I am saying that you both have great qualities within you, and oftentimes the good qualities that we admire and others are the qualities that we ourselves carry. Okay, so we got photograph in reverse. Ooh, I just got photographed by Def Leppard. I want to touch you, photograph. I don't need your photograph. I don't want your photograph. Something, something, something. I want to touch ya. Photograph by Def Leppard. I feel like someone really misses your presence, and you could totally be like disconnected in the sense of low contact, or this could be a long distance relationship. This could be a long distance family member, a relative, or friendship. And someone is reminiscing on photographs, but they wish that they had the real deal. If this is about a couple, I don't know what kind of photographs you've taken, but they want the real thing. They love the photographs, but they want the real thing. All right. With the butterfly, I didn't even read this. Looking at your photos, missing you, nostalgia, make new memories. I feel like it is important to make new memories and be spontaneous and spend time in that energy of gratitude and innocence, in sense of, being your inner child together. And it is important to let this person kind of sort it out themselves, because you don't want to lean into that codependence. And that could also be why they're not disclosing everything to you, because they don't want to seem codependent or make you feel like you have to fix them, or vice versa. So with the butterfly, we have relationship evolving to the next phase, inner child healing and growth. And I feel like it is important to remember the butterfly effect here. The butterfly effect being that, in theory, every time a butterfly beats its wings, destiny changes. So every action that we take has a consequence. It can alter destiny, which is, exactly why you see in those shows that anybody who time travels, they essentially alter everyone's destiny if they do too much other than whatever their mission was. I feel like everything is exactly the way it should be right now, and I feel like with photograph in reverse and the idea of nostalgia, I feel like there could be a lot of bittersweet memories, of the sense that, you guys are bitter about situations that have happened, and so are they. And a lot of this, is beyond your control now. It happened. And while the world didn't end, obviously, it still hurt. And I feel like it can be easy to get caught up in those feelings and not necessarily know how to repair them. I feel like y'all may even occasionally get caught up in the blame game, when maybe, again, with innocence, neither one of you is to blame in this situation, but rather with these series of circumstances, y'all encountered some individuals who really didn't have the best intentions for y'all, and may have seen that innocence within either both of you, or either or, and took advantage of that. And eventually, yes, we do have to take accountability for that. But you can also get manipulated. And I feel like you and this person, or one or the other, was manipulated by this third party. And this could have happened a couple of times. Again, going back to that neurodivergence, I feel like oftentimes social interactions with those who are neurotypical don't always make sense. And so cues can be missed. And this isn't to say that those with neurodivergence are gullible, but it is to say that, you know, people with neurodivergence can be taken advantage of because they don't understand, you know, grooming patterns or things of that nature. Okay, self-indulgence is at the face of the deck. Focus on self, self-worth, time to heal, shadow work, self-appreciation. I feel like doing the deep dive, going within, and doing the work that everybody's been avoiding will definitely help. I feel like someone here might have even been avoiding the inner work because they're worried that they may seem self-indulgent, or because they have been taught that, you know, focusing on themselves is like, you know, narcissistic, and to stay humble, and, you know, don't be proud of your accomplishments. Like, why would you put that trophy up? Like, just shit like that. I feel like, yes, it is important to stay humble, but it is okay to be proud of yourself. And I feel like it's important for someone here, be it you or your partner or both, to learn how to lean into that and, you know, just remind each other that you're proud of each other. Be a little more gentle on each other. And if like shit really does spiral out of control, you know, maybe take into consideration whether or not this relationship is, you know, healthy, or if it would be healthier to give this individual distance, or for you to get your own distance. But it's time to make that decision. Are you going to fight for this connection, or are you going to let it be torn apart by that third party? Even if that third party is not around, especially with the world in reverse, because some of y'all may have already been relocated. Is he on a motorcycle? No, he's on a chair. But I feel like y'all could have already been relocated, or you're about to. You are not going to have to deal with this third party. Like, if you don't ever want to see them again, unless this is work, then that's a whole other ballgame. Or it is some sort of addiction, then again, that's a whole other ballgame. But if this was someone who, you know, like a family member that tried to come in between a connection, or a friend, or an ex, or even your current partner, put it where it fits. Whoever tried to become a wedge and cause this great divide, good luck to them. They didn't do a very good job. But they're the ones at fault. Blessings in reverse is behind deep dive. Like, I feel like because, like, some of y'all and this person may be... Ooh, solitude in reverse. Maybe a little bitter still. Again, it can be hard to have gratitude and to see all of the blessings that have come in, especially if you have been relocated and you are able to have that solitude now. Allow yourself to kind of bask in it. Allow yourself to heal, and allow this person the time that they need to heal as well. Because it is not mindless self-indulgence to take care of yourself. All right, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Let's see. By all that is divine, I will now close and exit this reading. Thank you for illuminating the path and for not retreating. Our session has now come to an end, and this advice I shall not bend. Please be safe on your path and keep me safe in the aftermath. Blessed be, and so it be like that sometimes. All right. Y'all, everything is going to be a-okay. I feel like just gotta reconnect with self and, you know, realize that a lot of the situations could be a blessing in disguise. And though I never want to discount anyone's trauma, I feel like it's a fucking blessing to get away from any sort of third party that could have made y'all feel these ways. If you do have to break away from this connection, this person would understand. They wouldn't guilt you, they wouldn't hound you. I feel like they'd understand exactly why. And if not, then it sounds like, you know, they still need to go within and do a little bit of inner work, or vice versa. I feel like if this person was to end the connection with you, you'd understand why. If you were the one who is, you know, stuck on a vice or has this third party that continues to somehow linger even though they may not, you know, be within the vicinity. I feel like y'all are going to be judging yourselves a little less harshly and not absorbing all of the judgments that others have made in regards to you. Alright, I'm gonna leave it there. Have a beautiful day.